Hey everyone, and welcome to our awesome trip through Italy's super cool history and vibrant culture. This beautiful country, shaped like a boot kicking a soccer ball, has been a super important place for civilization, empires, and amazing art, music, and food. From old city-states to modern wonders, Italy's story is packed with art, new ideas, and traditions. Come with me as we explore the heart of this captivating country, checking out its famous landmarks, uncovering hidden gems, and discovering what makes Italy so unique. Before Italy was what we know today, it was a bunch of independent city-states, each with its own personality and goals. Florence, where the Renaissance began, thrived with the help of the Medici family, who supported artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Venice, built on water, created a huge sea empire, its canals busy with traders from the east. Genoa, with its powerful ships, controlled trade routes across the Mediterranean Sea. And Naples in the south had a rich culture and delicious food. These city-states, often rivals, competed for power, leaving behind amazing buildings, art, and a spirit of innovation. They governed themselves, each with its own laws, money, and even armies. This mix of cities, while creating a wide variety of cultures, also caused some problems. It wasn't until the 1800s that Italy became one united country. Imagine the busy workshops of Florence, where skilled craftspeople made beautiful jewelry and fancy fabrics, things that rich people all over Europe wanted. Picture the busy port of Venice, where ships full of spices from the east unloaded their cargo, filling the air with exotic smells. Think about the grandeur of Rome, the eternal city where emperors once walked and gladiators fought in the Colosseum. These city-states, though now part of one country, still have their own unique character, their own ways of speaking, traditions and foods. They are the pieces that, when put together, make up the amazing story of Italy. The name Italy sounds ancient, and it is. It comes from an old word, vitellu, meaning land of young cattle. The Romans changed it to Italia, a name that at first only described the southern part of the country. But as the Roman Empire grew, so did the name Italia, eventually covering the whole area. The story of the name Italy is like the story of how Italy became one country. Just as Rome brought different people together, so did the name Italy come to mean a shared identity. It became a symbol of unity, a symbol of shared history and culture. The name Italy makes us think of rolling hills with vineyards, sunny beaches and old cities. It makes us think of fresh bread, ripe tomatoes and delicious olive oil. From the snowy Alps to the sunny shores of Sicily, Italy is a land of different things, a place where old traditions mix with new ideas. But through it all, the name Italy has stayed strong. Pizza. Just hearing the word makes you think of cheesy goodness, crispy crust, and amazing flavors. But this dish, loved all over the world, started out simple in Naples. Long before pizza became famous, people in Naples ate flatbreads with different toppings. These early pizzas were often sold on the street, a quick and cheap meal. But in 1889, pizza as we know it today was born. The story goes that Queen Margherita, tired of fancy French food, wanted something simpler, something Italian. Raffaele Esposito, a famous pizza maker, was asked to make pizzas for the Queen. One pizza had the colors of the Italian flag red tomatoes, white mozzarella, and green basil. The Queen loved this pizza, and so the Margherita pizza was born, named after her. Chapter 4. The Music of Language. The Italian language, like a beautiful song, comes from a rich history of different ways of speaking. Like the country itself, the Italian language didn't just appear overnight, it changed over time, shaped by conquests, people moving around, and different cultures mixing. Before Italy was one country, many different dialects were spoken. Each region had its own unique way of speaking. Among these, the dialect of Florence became important, thanks to the writer Dante Alighieri, whose famous poem, The Divine Comedy, was written in that dialect. Dante's poem helped to create a national language. While Standard Italian, based on the Florentine dialect, became the official language, the regional dialects continued to be spoken, adding to the richness of the language. These dialects are not just different versions of Italian, they are their own languages, each with its own grammar, words, and pronunciation. Chapter 5. Sparking a Revolution. The year 1800 was a big year for science. Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist, invented the first electric battery, the voltaic pile. Volta's invention, a stack of zinc and copper discs with salt water, changed everything. For the first time, there was a steady source of electricity, which led to many new discoveries. Volta's invention was revolutionary. It started a new era of electrical exploration, leading to inventions like the telegraph, telephone, light bulb, and computer. Volta's battery changed science and everyday life. It lit up homes, powered factories, and connected people across the world. Chapter 6. Venice. A city adrift. Venice, a city built on water, is truly amazing. Built on more than 100 islands, Venice is a maze of canals, bridges, and beautiful buildings. The story of Venice is all about water. People fleeing invaders in the 5th century built the city on the islands. They became expert shipbuilders and sailors, creating a powerful sea empire. Venice's canals are its streets, filled with gondolas, boats, and water taxis. But the water that makes Venice special is also a danger. The city is slowly sinking, and rising sea levels are making it worse. Protecting this fragile city is a big challenge. Chapter 7. The 7 Hills of Rome. Rome, the Eternal City, is a mix of myth, legend, and history. Its story is connected to the 7 hills it was built on. Legend says Romulus founded Rome on Palatine Hill in 753 BC. This hill, overlooking the Tiber River, was a good place to defend, attracting early settlers. As Rome grew, it expanded to the other hills, each important to the city's development. The Capitoline Hill became the religious center, while the Aventine Hill became a symbol of the common people. The 7 hills, once separated, became part of Rome. They were the foundation for emperors' palaces, senators' villas, and magnificent temples. Today, the 7 hills are still important symbols of Rome's past. Chapter 8. Colosseum. The Colosseum reminds us of the Roman Empire's power and cruelty. Finished in 80 AD, this huge arena was a place for gladiator fights, executions, and even fake sea battles. The Colosseum was an amazing piece of engineering. Built from concrete and stone, it could hold up to 80,000 people. The arena floor, covered in sand to soak up blood, could be changed into elaborate sets. Gladiator fights were brutal. Gladiators, often slaves or prisoners, fought to the death. Even though it has a violent past, the Colosseum is a symbol of Roman architecture and a reminder of how entertainment and power were connected in ancient Rome. Chapter 9. A Toast to Tradition. From Tuscany to Piedmont, Italy loves wine. Wine is part of Italian culture, a symbol of celebration and tradition. Italy's winemaking history is ancient. The Romans made wine across their empire. Each region of Italy has its own special qualities that make its wines unique. Tuscany is known for its strong red wines like Chianti, while Piedmont is famous for its elegant Barolo wines. In Italy, wine isn't just a drink, it's part of the meal. From the aperitivo, a before-dinner drink, to pairing wines with food, wine makes Italian food even better. Every year, as winter ends, Venice becomes magical. The canals are full of color, there's music and laughter, and people in masks fill the streets. This is Carnivale, Venice's famous carnival, a celebration of mystery and fantasy. Carnivale started in the 12th century, connected to old celebrations of spring. The masks are the most famous part of Carnivale. First worn to hide people's identities, the masks became beautiful works of art. From the Volta to the Volta, the masks let people hide who they are and have fun. Near Mount Vesuvius were 2 Roman cities, Pompeii and Herculaneum. On August 24, 79 AD, Vesuvius erupted. Pompeii was buried in ash, its people frozen in time. Herculaneum was hit by a pyroclastic flow, a superheated avalanche of gas and volcanic material. The discovery of these cities in the 1700s gave us a look into Roman life. The ruins showed beautiful mosaics, frescoes, and everyday objects. Italy's symbol is the tricolore flag with green, white, and red stripes. Adopted in 1861, the tricolore represents the movement for Italian unification. Green is for hope and the Italian landscape. White is for purity and faith. Red is for courage and the sacrifices made for Italy. Thanks for joining me on this trip through Italy. We've explored ancient ruins, seen amazing art, and learned what makes Italy special. But our adventures don't end here. The world is full of fascinating stories. Stay tuned for more stories from around the world. Keep exploring and keep adventuring.